Hi, welcome to this Sphere Day, which is on the 29th of March. We're on Sunday. Just give our update out today for the euro. We're going to be looking at it against the USD, the JPY, and the GBP. We'll go to the charts in a moment. Also, we're going to look at another pair, euro correlated currency, which is the Swedish krona, so USD SEK. Now, just before we go to the charts, we do have extremely volatile market conditions as the pandemic causes problems all around the world. Now, in terms of where the euro goes, I think it's going to be very much dictated by how governments agree to respond to the pandemic together. And I mean corona bonds. And there's huge splits in Eurozone over this. If they cannot resolve those differences, the euro will take a massive hit. Okay, it could actually lead to the zone breaking up in the near future. It really is that serious. Now, what I want to do is go through the setups, fundamentals and sentiment behind the chart. Obviously, of course, the key technical levels. But just before we go to the charts, just please always do keep in mind, it is my view as of this moment in time. It can, of course, change in line with the market conditions and action. If you want all our trading techniques and our daily technical and sentiment analysis of 14 Forex pairs, including the ones we'll look at right now, all you need to do is click on the link beneath this video and you will get live access to our member centre. Right, the pair we're going to look at first is Euro USD. Right, Euro USD daily. I'll do the technicals in a moment, but obviously with any pair you're looking at the moment, important to look at the fundamentals and sentiment behind the chart. These markets are so volatile and sentiment driven. Now, in terms of some points, I've listed them out, so let's go through them. Let's have a look at the respective reactions to the virus. Now, the US reaction, Fed, unlimited QE coming in. They're printing as much money as they can. Government fiscal stimulus, a massive 2 trillion package approved. A lot of people say, well, that's going to be bearish for the dollar. I'm not so sure, actually. There is a big shortage of dollars in the financial system. And I think, in terms of the euro, did mount a big rally there. Many risk currencies did against the USD. Obviously, the stock market went up. Let's drag the risk currencies back up, and we'll have to see if stocks turn down. I think they could run a little bit more to the upside. The rally is on borrowed time for the stock market, and I think it's on borrowed time for the euro, especially with what's going on in the zone. Now, the EU reaction to the pandemic, QE, a lot of money going in the system as well. Fiscal stimulus from governments has come in, i.e. Germany, traditionally not in favour of it, but the pandemic has made Germany do it. The problem, though, is the poor nations need more stimulus, and corona bonds have been touted as the way to solve the poor nations' problems. And Italy, one of the poorer nations of the zone, you've got a government heavily in debt, so in debt that if the banking system runs into more problems, it's already got big problems, then you have the risk of the world's 8th largest economy going down, 3rd largest in Eurozone. And let's put this quote here from Italian Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte. The unity of EU members face a new painful test with coronavirus crisis. If the bloc fails to stand up to it, the entire project might lose its foundations. Quoted in Deutsche Welt. He wants corona bonds. He wants more help. Okay, what are they? They're a joint borrowing system that would allow poorer EU nations to take out cheap loans, with the richer members guaranteeing the funds would be returned or repaid. So the richer nations will have to guarantee the poorer nations. Now, if we look at the United States, the states are united. The states of Europe are not united. They've got vested interests. Now, in terms of countries in favour of corona bonds, well, pretty obvious, really. Italy will be. Spain, Portugal, Greece, Poland, even France have said, or Macron has said that he thinks they could be a good idea. But you've got rich nations on the other side who are not keen on guaranteeing the poorer nations at all. Germany, the main country in the zone, Angela Merkel said no, she doesn't think it's a good idea. Netherlands, a small country, but pretty wealthy in terms of the zone. Their Prime Minister, Mark Rutte, said, "We are against it, i.e. Corona bonds. It's not just for us." Okay, that drew a furious reply from Portugal's Prime Minister Antonio Costa, who said this type of response is completely ignorant and this recurring pettiness completely undermines what makes up the spirit of the European Union. They've all got to come together in this crisis, or the zone, further down the line will break up. I'll be very interested to see what happens going forward next week. Serious situation in the zone. They've got to find some common ground. Otherwise, the zone does risk breaking up, and also one of the poor nations could go down. Now, in terms of the euro, last week's forecast, we were pretty happy. We've got a nice turn to get into our trade, and it was running quite nicely, but it rebounded back. That's it. When we were down here, I thought, these couple of spikes here, no big deal. And then we broke above 108 and 109. We got a decent profit out of it. We gave a lot back. Friday, I elected to go back in at 109.17. She poked up again. Pretty firm at the moment. The euro, I put a stop at 111.80. If I'm stopped out, I'll come back in. But let's have a look at, if you're a euro bear, how you could play it. I think that will be a good entry. It's basically through the open there, close there, and you get clear of the 20-day moving average as well. And I can draw a trajectory. So through. Sorry, I can never get the diagonal line straight. There we go. Just bank through there. See if she runs the downside. If she starts running to the downside, targets will be 104.50, then par. Obviously, you'll get through chart lows. What about if she bounces up? Now, 112 would be a hard level to take out, I think, and get really clear of it. So if we suddenly did bounce up through 112, I would sell back through the level. I'd give it at least 200 pip stop. I'd want to be behind 114. Okay, if we got up towards chart highs, just sell any bearish confirmation. I think obviously we'll have to see how this one goes next week, and obviously track it in the member centre. But the euro rally, I must admit, I didn't expect it to rally as much as it did, but that's what markets do. I thought it would continue to the downside, but the bounce to me looks like a selling opportunity with all the problems in the zone. I just don't see them becoming one big happy family. Hopefully they do. I don't see it that way at this moment in time. Rally could run a bit further, but for me, rally is on borrowed time, selling opportunity. And if we do start gaining traction to the downside, a long way to go. Right, let's look at a pair that I also really like. I like all the pairs I'm doing today, but it's EURJPY. Right, just going to use charts from our member centre for EURJPY, which are on right now, and EURGBP. Then I'll draw out USDSEK and go through the fundamentals of the Swedish krona, which don't look good. Now, in terms of this trade setup, it's a fairly simple one for us. This 121 level, break below it, can't get back through it. We do get above it here, but immediately fail back. Couple more pokes, can't get through, down. Really choppy, erratic price action. We go back up and slap into 121 on the big blue. Red tries to get through, can't. This red is coming back up. Big tail exhaustion. Can it get through 121? You can see that we're already short. We don't think so. Of course, it could. But I would watch if I was coming in fresh for a move back through 119.80. And then I think, with all the problems, those Corona bonds, if they start getting more to a head next week, they're already at loggerheads. The nations, we should see a move down to 117, then 110, then 100. For us, the yen, it is the number one safe currency. And also, it's deeply oversold historically as well. It's longer term. I think it's going up on a lot of currencies. And with the euro, with all its problems, you can see We're looking for a really big move to the downside to be confirmed. Now, even if we're wrong, the risk is just so small. I hope we're not wrong though, but we'll see early next week how we go. But I think the euro's got plenty of downside. Euro GBP weekly forecast noted last week that GBP hit an historical low in valuation against a basket of currencies and felt it would come back in many crosses, and it has come back in many crosses, and it's pushed the euro down quite nicely. We've had a couple of trades in this one short. The latest one, 91.20, we're at 89.33. Now, I'm going to watch this one closely. I want to see it get away from this 20-day moving average. If we were to bounce back up, I'd probably sell back through the 20 or catch on weakness if she started to gravitate back to the highs. I think these markets, you have to move pretty quickly because, yeah, volatility is just so high. But in terms of in this pair, so far, so good. I think we should easily get to chart lows, and I think possibly down to the 80 level. So a long way to run on the downside if our view proves correct. Now, right, let's have a look at the Euro proxy. I'm going to look at the SEK, so USD SEK next. Right, on the USD SEK daily. Now, in terms of a quote up here, I put it from Bloomberg, it says the biggest Nordic economy may be about to sink into its worst recession in living memory. I think it's guaranteed to go into its worst recession in living memory. And it could be a catastrophic recession. Now, I think in terms of you watching this pair, you need to look at Sweden's response to the coronavirus, because if you look around the world, populations are under lockdown. Not in Sweden. You can still go to the restaurant, you can still go to the pub. Very relaxed way of dealing with the virus, which has got many observers concerned. I've just done one quote here from the Swedish Medical Association. Sweden's strategy for dealing with the situation, i.e. the virus, seems to consist mainly in contact tracking and isolation of the sick. The strategy can work if there are only a few cases, but it might already be beyond that stage. It is beyond that stage in our view. More delays and chances can have fatal effects on the public health in Sweden. They have confirmed quite a few cases in terms of how big Sweden's population is, and they're letting it spread through the population. I'm not sure it's such a good idea to do that. Sweden has their reasons, which I won't go into here. But if the virus is really got a long way into the population, all the people are infected and the deaths increase, I think that's going to be a big bearish. Well, it's obviously a big bearish fundamental for the krona, because they're behind the curve, aren't they? Now, if you took out the virus problem, the economic health of Sweden is not good anyway. It's got aging population, high debt levels. A lot of that due to the migrant influx. It brought a lot of migrants into the country, more than any other country, when all the migrants came from Syria and so forth into Europe. Worker productivity is low, obviously exposed to Eurozone. The economy is not in good health anyway. And now you've got the virus that could get out of control. We'll have to see what happens. But in terms of the way the chart is, obviously USD had a big surge up, and now we're retracing. I view the retracement as a buying opportunity. Let's draw a trajectory in there. Sorry, I'm skewing my line. There we go. Double trend line, 20-day moving average. Okay. Buy. Hey, I'm coming in fresh through there. Where are we going to go to? Chart highs and beyond. Got an open target on it. Now, in terms of what happens if we go down and we go through the 20-day moving average, well, just buy it back through the 20-day moving average, and this, which at the moment is a big level of support, which will become resistance. You just come back through 980, and I'd stick my stop back behind 960. We'll see how this one goes, but the US dollar gets up through resistance. I think we'll be off to the upside. And, to chart highs, it's what, about 3 and a bit to 1 in terms of risk to reward, but I think we could go as high as 11. We shall see. All right, that is my view of the charts. I hope you found the video useful. Thank you for watching me. Take care and have a good day.